This Monday night, we're sending you back to the podcast.
Oh, jeez. Hey.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Josh Delgado with my sister Glenda Delgado. We're going to talk about Wednesday Addams,
Yes.
Wakanda Forever. But first, let's see.
Hello?
Wait, you lose me?
I lost you for like a second. I heard wah. Wakanda.
Got some Wakanda Forever stuff. Let's see. What the hell? I forgot where I was going to start with because this thing's so unorganized. Let's start with, I know you don't watch trailers, which kind of hurts the pod, to be honest. But the Indiana Jones trailer dropped, and I saw that you posted an article about they had created their own technology for de-aging.
Yeah.
So I did see how it looked, but it's only for like a microsecond, 2 shots a microsecond. Looks good.
Okay.
Looks really
Yeah.
good, but it's only a microsecond, so who knows?
Okay.
I mean, the whole movie is kind of, it's annoyingly, it's too colorful, touched up like the last movie.
Oh,
Where it's just,
yeah.
I hated that. It's just too colorful. This movie looks
Yeah, I
exactly
don't
the
like
same.
that. Yeah.
So, just want to throw that in there. Maybe because we talked about it last week. Maybe it'll look good. I mean,
So
for the split seconds, it did.
for the split second that you watched it, it did?
Yeah, they showed him like
Okay.
twice. There's actually one
I
shot
am-
when he looked horrible, but it wasn't de-aging. It was him on a horse, and you could tell
Oh,
they just put his face on an actor. That looked bad. But the
Really?
de-aging looked good. Yeah, it looks.
I mean, that's what
maybe,
they did back in the day.
I mean, they'll probably
know?
fix it's they're still working on it. They'll probably fix that, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am concerned with, like you're saying, the lighting and the colorfulness of it, because I think part of the magic of the originals is that it was film quality. It felt cinematic. Like when he's, in Raiders, he's in the desert and it's just this beautiful shot, Yeah, I don't mind taking technology and using it to make it, but you're supposed to use it to make it better, but then they kind of did, like, what's that thing called? Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley, yeah.
Yeah, which is what Beowulf did, because it was like what is it? The frames were I forget what the frame rate was, but it's the faster frame rate. And this
I remember, that
doesn't
was cool.
necessarily have that. Oh, okay. Well, this doesn't necessarily have that. It's just that it's just so bright and just feel like you're not getting lost in it. It's just almost taking you out of it because you feel like it's a little unnatural. Though I enjoyed Crystal Skull, I do like the other cinematic style more.
It just looks too cartoony.
Yeah.
I remember really liking Beowulf. He went for something
agree.
different where the style kept, it's like a flow, kept changing to, like you said, maybe it was 60 frames per second or something, but the look of the movie kept changing, which I don't know if it works on TV. It worked in the theaters. I don't know if it works on if you go home. Wasn't there a 3D aspect to it also? I don't remember.
For which one? I lost you for a second.
Beowulf.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read the book.
That's
but I
I'm
didn't
sure it's
see
way
it.
different.
Yeah. I do like the director, and
Those are
you know,
Zemeckis,
obviously he
right?
did Back to the Future, and
All right. So in other news, original Teen Titans cartoon comes back December 4th for season 6. I don't know if did you ever watch that Teen Titans, the cartoon?
I saw the movies. I actually really love the movies, but not the cartoon, like the show.
The comedy movies or like those DC.
The animated movies.
Okay.
The animated movies. Yeah, those are
You just
awesome.
skip the whole
Yeah.
seasons and went straight to.
Yeah.
That show
And I
stopped
watched
airing.
Titans.
Teen Titans Go or the live action one, right?
The live action one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this show was like early 2000s, I think, and it just disappeared. And then way later, it came back with Teen Titans Go with the same voice cast, which was kind of insulting at the time. But I mean,
Why?
it is funny. Well, it's because they didn't. It was a really good show. I don't, and, I don't. It never had like closure or anything. And
I think I read about that.
And then the Teen Titan Go comes like I don't even know. It might have been like 10 years later. It doesn't feel that long ago, but it's just like silly and stupid. But it is funny. Like the show Teen Titans Go is actually funny. But at the time, It was like, what the fuck is this? I only watched it because Jonathan made me watch. Like, all right, it's pretty funny. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, because you liked it. We're actually both wearing DC shirts.
Yeah, I don't even remember the storylines that much anymore, but I do remember loving the show. So I'm excited. New season. DC
Okay.
animation is the only thing they got over Marvel is DC animation, top notch.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear Harlequin, the Harlequin show, which I'm wearing a Harlequin shirt. I heard the Harlequin show is really good.
I've seen clips of it. Yeah, it's really. I'm gonna start watching it because now we actually have HBO Max now, so I'll start watching
Oh,
it. It is really
cool.
good. I've seen a bunch of clips. Yeah, it's really good. You can tell it's
I
funny.
think they evolved Harlequin because I watched some of the old Harlequin animated uh clips of her, and she's just like so desperate for, and I guess that's how she is. But I'm
Yeah,
just like, why were people so into her? She's just like so desperate for Joker. It's weird. I mean, as far as like
it's
the
it's
clips I
like
saw,
uh, it's like that kidnapping syndrome when you kidnap them, then they
but
fall in love with the
why?
captors.
I'm
It's because
cool
he
with
messed
like,
with her mentally, bro. She was his therapist, and
I know,
he
no, I
broke
get
her.
all that. But why, as a woman, are you like, oh, I want to be this broken, like crazy, like I don't know. It was weird. I can understand liking
As a woman,
Margot.
yeah, I don't think she chose to be broken. First of all,
I'm talking
what do you
about
mean?
I'm talking about cosplayers and people that would dress like her, or that were girls that were fans of her. Like, how are you a fan of somebody who's like, if you could identify, fine, but it's
She's a
just like,
badass character, and in any
okay, that's what
case,
I'm saying. Is that I may be missing that because the clips I saw, I'm like, she's just so
yeah,
desperate.
she doesn't even stay that way. She joins up with Poison Ivy, and everybody
See, that
she
part's
dumps him,
cool.
and
Yeah,
yeah, she dumps him. But in the
but I
original show,
hear,
she does that.
but I hear people were upset that she dumps, and they're like, she never did that. She was always so into Joker. I'm like, really? Because it's
Well,
kind of
I
cool
don't
that
know.
she tries to find
In
herself.
the
You know?
original show, she has enough. She becomes besties with Poison Ivy, and then way
That's cool.
later on, they start shipping them together like bi or something, but because they had good chemistry
Yeah.
in the original cartoon. She people evolve. It's not going to happen right away. It's yeah.
Oh, for sure. If she
And she
evolves,
had
that's
chemistry
supporting,
with
and I like that.
Batman too. She's not pure evil.
I think it's just, I guess, the clips I saw that I was like, okay. But yeah, that's what's important.
Yeah,
That's what I like
exactly.
about the
Clips.
film. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine. I'll admit, I told you I didn't watch the show. I don't know. But that's what I like about, the film and what I hear and what actually the new clips of the new show is that, yeah, like you're saying, it's her trying to find herself and evolve because she's lost herself in Joker, you know? And we do that when we fall in love. So that part is cool. It seemed like in the beginning, maybe she was just a side character that was just obsessed with him. And maybe as she became more of an independent character, she evolved like that. Maybe I don't know. So I
Well,
only
yeah,
know what and who she is now. You know.
yeah. She was exactly right. She was a side character, and then her role expanded more and more as the show went on.
And I heard that she was only in the animated series. She wasn't in the comic books initially, right?
She was created in the anime series. She was well
That's
received.
cool.
They put her in the comic books later on.
Okay.
All right. So last week we were talking about not last week, probably 2 weeks ago. Wakanda Forever was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Probably 2 weeks ago.
I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah,
But
2 weeks ago.
we were debating was there chemistry there? We maybe they're gonna go for a romance or something. So it actually has been confirmed. There is deleted scenes, romantic deleted scenes that they just felt it didn't it worked better not having it, but
Yeah.
they did film it, so it was there. It's
Really? It
they
was
obviously had the
there. Okay, I
chemistry.
wasn't just
It was
thinking.
there. They cut it out, uh, but the actors agreed
Okay.
too that they felt like no, it shouldn't be romantic.
Yeah.
More of a bond of trauma and whatnot, and less romantic.
I mean,
But
it was
you
still
like you
romantic
said,
in its own way.
yeah.
Like there's still tension. Tension is cool too. I mean, that's why certain shows last for so long, when the unrequited love idea and the
Yeah.
romantic tension, and it just goes on and people are more into that, like, when are they going to kiss? When are they going to do something? I think that's actually kind of cooler to just,
I
it's not like it
wasn't
wasn't
feeling it.
there.
I wasn't feeling it that much, like I wanted that to happen or anything like that. But it was
Right.
definitely
But I mean,
something there.
I feel like
Now we
I don't
know,
know. I love,
you know.
yeah, I love the slow tease of it though. And we both sense something. We're like, wait, you know, and you sense the spark. I don't know. It was cool. I think it this way was much cooler.
I agree. I prefer it better this way. Plus, in the comics, he has a big hard on for Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
So they're probably gonna go. They're gonna go that route for sure.
Oh, okay.
uh, all right. So now, staying with Wakanda Forever, but we're gonna try something a little different. I don't know if you watch. Have you ever seen these TikToks with these podcasters? They call Just the Nobodies. It's two Asian guys. And
No.
I always find it kind of silly as a podcast because they're always just, did you know? Did you know? It's like it's not even a real conversation,
Oh,
but
I actually think I have seen it, and they have really
yeah,
good information, though. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I like them. I like them. I follow
Yeah.
them, but at the same time, it's like, how is
I
that a
just,
podcast if everything starts with "Did you know"? But
I mean, that's their
I'm gonna
gimmick, you
tease
know.
them just a little bit. Doesn't mean I don't like them. We're gonna do "Did you know?"
Okay.
Just for a little fun, right? No hate at them. I do like them. All right. So did you know both Black Panthers have a Dragon Ball Z connection? Did
Both
you?
Black Panthers?
Both Black Panther movies have a
No.
Dragon Ball Z. So you know what Dragon Ball Z is? The anime.
I'm
Goku.
familiar.
Yeah, you're familiar. Okay.
I
He
never
would kick
watched. I'm
Superman's
familiar
ass.
because of you. He
Okay,
can
so
kick Superman's butt.
in the original movie, this is confirmed with Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan, his look where he has like a blue and like a vest thing going on. This Killmonger suit. That's straight up
Okay.
like taken from Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta. I'll put the picture up. It's almost
Okay.
identical like look. Like he chose his he got to choose his look straight up. He admitted it that it was inspired by Vegeta, flat out. So
Okay.
in the new movie, when the Tolokan they say hi, they do this. What does that
Yeah.
look like? It looks like a
I have no
Kamehameha
idea.
wave. It looks like a Goku doing a Kamehameha wave. That's what it
Oh,
looks like.
really?
The whole time I was watching, I was like holding it back. Kamehameha. Oh, I'm just joking. Even though it is similar, that's not where it's from. It's not
Okay.
actually Dragon Ball Z, but it does look exactly the same. It does look.
Like Dragon
It's
Ball
actually,
Z.
it's actually, it's actual real greeting. There's actually they even have a drawing of it of the statue doing this, so it is actually a real greeting that
Wow.
they're using in the movie, which I thought is pretty cool. At
A
first, I did
real
thought,
greeting.
but you can ask Marianne every time everybody was saying hi. It was like, "Come in." She was giggling. But I
No,
just
I
wanted to
never
throw that in
seen Dragon Ball Z.
there. Never seen him do a
Yeah, because
Kamehameha
you're
wave, dude? Come on,
no.
man. All
I know
right.
how much you love it though.
Hey, the show came back. It's great. And they dropped the movie a couple months ago. All right, let's do one
Oh my
more.
gosh.
So do you know the Santa
Okay.
Claus theory? Remember the Santa Claus? Tim Allen?
No.
When he becomes Santa Claus? Remember
Yeah,
Tim
okay,
Allen?
yes.
Yeah, okay. It's called the
Yes,
Santa
yeah.
Claus. So there's
Yeah.
this theory
Mhm.
that the elves actually chose Scott even before Santa dies, because Santa dies and he takes over. If you watch the
Mhm.
movie, there's an elf watching him right after a party, and there's one watching him at Denny's before Santa even
Oh,
dies.
shit.
It's actually pretty cool.
Whoa. That's
So what's going on there?
interesting.
So one theory is
Oh.
the elves chose him but murdered the other one. Or Santa was already dead, and I don't know. Or is it some weird time thing where he's just becoming Santa again? There's some weird
Well,
theories.
maybe they're just magical because elves are magical and they predicted and knew he was gonna die.
That's
And they're
worse. So
like,
they could have been
oh,
warned him. And what happened to Mrs. Claus, the original Mrs. Claus? Is she just disappears? We know there is one before he
oh.
takes over.
Well,
It
if
is
you're
cool to
going
see them. It's cool to see them watching him before he becomes Santa, but it's also then like, well, then what's going on here? They knew what was gonna happen. Like, it's kind of weird. Or maybe, well, they show a dead body, so it's like, what the fuck,
Well, if we're
I
going
don't
with
know.
your theory that they killed him, then yeah, what did they do to Mrs. Claus is the question then. They probably did
There's
something.
some dark shit happening in that movie, and they have a
I mean,
sequel
there are
coming
dark
out.
elves. I
They are
know.
dark. They are dark elves, and I don't even know the new Santa Claus. I might be a series, or I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't
Have
know.
you?
With
Because I thought
Tim
it was gonna
Allen?
be a movie. Yeah, they're bringing it back. The Santa Claus. Yeah, it says one season, so it's not even a
Ooh,
movie. The
wow.
Return is actually a TV series, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
And then who's making it? I don't know. Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
See, and there's all these conspiracies about Tim Allen with Disney,
Why?
where because he didn't do the Buzz voice right in the new movie, because
He
they're like,
didn't.
oh yeah, oh he's a conservative, they kicked him out the movie. Well, then why work with him on Disney Plus? It's like I'm
Yeah.
glad he is working. I like Tim Allen. I don't care. I don't give a shit if he's conservative or not.
Yeah,
Never
and
seen
actually
anything rude or
Buzz
nothing.
Lightyear, but Lightyear, the movie had nothing to do with Tim Allen. It was about the real Buzz. So there's no reason
Which
for
is
it to
also
have his
confusing
voice.
because he's supposed to be a cartoon for. I don't know how that works. I don't think the most people didn't understand how that's why
Yeah,
the movie bombed. Probably.
that's not why.
What do you think it bombed? Why
Because
do you think it bombed?
people were protesting because it had a gay relationship. It's ridiculous. It's sad, actually.
I don't. That's only gonna play a
Think
small
about
part in
think
it.
about no, it'll play a big part because think about who are the people that go see animated films. The four quadrant films are the ones that make a lot of movies. Sorry, a lot of money. And if it doesn't meet that four quadrant mark, which it's not, if large portions of families are not going to go over that, then yeah,
What's the
then
four quadrant mark?
four quadrant means like here, I want to say it correctly, but it's basically where it meets like all age groups. Um, in the Hollywood industry, a four quadrant movie is one which appeals to four major demographics: male, female, and both over and under 25 years of age. Um, and I think that you're going to be removing a large group of the large people were not even showing it in movie theaters. I mean, some theaters weren't showing it because people were protesting it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It was
I
actually
mean,
a very good movie. And people were
I had
excited
no,
until they heard about that. It's just so stupid.
I was never
Strange World,
excited
the
for it.
same thing.
So
Well,
what? There's
okay.
a gay character in there too that nobody wants to see.
Actually, well, so Lightyear didn't. It wasn't even about that though. It was just that his best friend was gay. That's it. But he himself, his story, you should watch it. Lightyear was actually really good.
Why? Why would I want to watch that? It doesn't even make sense. They're toys. He's supposed to be a cartoon character. Why is he real all of a sudden? It doesn't. I don't
No,
think
he's
so.
not real. It's the film. It opens so cool. Uh, and it's the film that Andy saw, and they made toys out of this guy. That's it. It's really simple. It's not hard to understand. And it's really good. It's about the real Buzz Lightyear. The toy Buzz Lightyear is based on him. That's why it's not the same voice. It's the film that Andy saw as a kid that inspired him to buy the toy, and they open with that. Actually a really good film. It's done really well. But yeah, same thing. Don't do that because it's good. I'm trying to tell you something.
Well, they're actually in trouble because their last four movies bombed.
Who?
That Disney's cartoons. That
Oh,
includes
Disney.
Encanto. That includes Encanto. 'Cause Encanto
Yeah,
got popular
but
on
think
streaming.
about
It
it.
wasn't popular in the theaters.
I know, which that upset me too because I went to the theaters to see it and I was like, this shit's fucking beautiful. And I was singing the songs early on. So it was really frustrating that people were like, oh, it's streaming now. Now they all see it and now they see how great it was. And for the Latino community, for me, it was just like, it just sucks because it's always a great film. It's not like, now you go see it because it's available on Disney Plus. But back then we were still getting out of the pandemic and people were just like, tiptoeing with going out. So I can understand that more. I don't know if that's really the marketing or anyone's fault. I think people were still just kind of, you know, um, tiptoeing around the idea of going back to the movies. And maybe the reason why Marvel does so well, it has to do with maybe that group of people is not as afraid to go to the movies. I don't know. I think there has to be there's good movies out there. So like that one was good, and I promise you, you would like it. It was actually really fucking well done. Um,
I think they're on.
I maybe it's marketing, maybe it's just has to do with the pandemic. I know for sure with Lightyear people were protesting it, and with Encanto, I don't know. Could have been the marketing for sure. I don't know.
I think there's
And the pandemic,
definitely there's definitely a marketing problem than the pandemic. They're also just on a downturn. Like I'm just looking at the Toy Story 4 is probably the last really good movie. They did Lion
Yeah,
King, that one was okay. Frozen 2
yeah.
was probably good. I mean, I don't know. That's a sequel. I don't even know what Spies in Disguise is. Onward was overrated. I did not like Onward.
Oh, I loved Onward.
Didn't watch Soul. Ryan the Last Dragon. That was bad. That was not good. Didn't watch
Oh, I
Luca.
like that one.
I don't know what Ron's Gone Wrong. I don't even know what that is. Then
Oh,
Encanto
that
came
one's
out.
good. I've seen all of those.
Turning Red was straight to. I saw a little bit of it. It was alright, whatever.
Yeah, that was just that one was streaming. Yeah, but
So I
people
don't know.
protested that one too. I mean,
Is this even
I
a
don't
Disney
know. Some
list
of
or is
those
this
that
just anime list?
but some of those that you listed were really good. So that is strange. I think maybe that age group maybe is just not going. Maybe families aren't really going to the movies right now. I don't know. Because some of those that you just said, just they were actually really good. Ron's Gone Wrong. I took priority to we're
Never
always
even heard
going
of
to the
it.
movies. So
Is that is that a Disney film?
actually,
Is
you
that?
would like. I'll tell you that one you would really like. And then Luca and Soul, those are weird that you just mentioned those because those one were either won Oscars or were nominated. So those weren't my
Okay.
favorites, but those were
That
okay compared to
list wasn't just Disney's list. Okay, I thought so. 'Cause I never even heard of
yeah. So then
Ron's
maybe it
Gone
has
Wrong.
but maybe it has something to do with families going to the movies then. Maybe that age isn't or that group is not really going anymore.
Yeah, I don't
At least
know.
not as at least maybe not as much as
Was
before.
Frozen 2 a big hit? I imagine it probably was, right?
Um I
I don't. People don't talk about it
I
as
don't know
much.
because on it to be honest, I don't look at numbers. Because I just go for myself. I just
Yeah, one point.
we
Yeah,
grew up going, so I just love going. So I don't know.
one
I don't
point
look
four
at numbers.
five billion. Yeah, it was a big hit.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
that one wasn't even as good as the first one. But that one was pre-pandemic, so I guarantee you, I'm sure that after the pandemic, there were some changes as far as movie viewing for family films.
All right. So let's talk about the number one. I, I guess American View show. They kind of keep changing the narrative, but the number one Netflix show now is Wednesday, which
Yes.
was really good.
Yes.
I was worried about the first 15 minutes. It was a little
Yeah.
rough, and the
Really?
problem being, yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know what everybody's talking about. I was a little worried, but then it got good. It was really good. And the problem with the first 15 minutes is really the casting of the parents. I love Luis Guzman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love him, and I love him. And then what's her name? She's good.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. They have no chemistry together whatsoever. No charisma,
Yeah.
low energy. They're like whispering to do an accent or something, and it wasn't good. And Luis Guzman, he's a funny guy. He's too old. He's like 66, and he sounds like a grandpa. He talks like a grandpa, so it just wasn't working. Just because he looks the part, he looks the part of the original drawing design, which I get. That's great. I don't care that he's ugly. Like he's always been that way. He's not the Luis Guzman that I grew up with. I know him. I used to watch him on TV. He had a TV show on Fox. Like I know who he is. Like he
Okay.
was on Narcos. He was even great on Narcos, right? He was like really evil on Narcos.
He was
He's
evil in Narcos, though. Yeah,
he's
and it was
that,
hard for me
that
not to
proved
see that character.
he's a comedian. That proved that he's an actor, right? But
Yeah, for sure.
even he's already a couple of years removed from that, where he just comes off as grandpa, like so old he can barely. You know how they talk in a whisper when they get older. Sometimes some people do that. I'm watching
Yeah.
him on his interview with Jenny Ortega, and like he's still talking that way. It's like he's just old. He should have. He needs charm and charisma to be Guzman, like to be Gomez, and he just doesn't have it anymore. It's just
Hmm.
disappointing. And then I don't know what Catherine Zeta-Jones thing is, but she had no charisma either, no charm. She's just whispering. Just like you're not no. So they were hurting the
I mean,
show. I'm glad she went away from them. As soon as
yeah,
Christina
exactly.
Ricci showed up, it got good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was gonna say that the show wasn't really about them, and they weren't really in it, so I was fine with it. I agree. I don't know if I saw the chemistry there too much, especially since they're supposed to be so in love. I don't think the casting was bad actually. I just think sometimes you know how they do chemistry tests before they film. Maybe they didn't do that here because sometimes yeah, you have to see if two characters like the way we saw like we were just talking about Princess Shuri and King Namor or Namor. They had that chemistry. It was there and they didn't even kiss or anything. So, maybe it was just it came down to these two actors for whatever reason just didn't have chemistry. I don't think individually they're bad though. And I did like Catherine's performance when she was with with Wednesday. I did enjoy it. I love
Mm,
Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I do
I,
agree as
did-
far as the chemistry.
I didn't like. They want to give him more scenes in the next season. It's like,
Give who more scenes?
people, both of them,
Mm.
and people liked Uncle Fester. I thought he was okay. I like that actor. He's really funny. He was okay as Uncle Fester. It's a hard
Oh
shadow
yeah,
to live up to, you know.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard
I
with
like
Christopher
him.
Lloyd. You know, it's
Yeah,
hard to live up to Christopher Lloyd.
Fred Armisen is great.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. You go to jail, you
Yeah,
know, he's great, but he was okay.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I kind of call
No, but
bullshit on the dance. What?
I was just say Jenna Ortega killed it. You were about to talk
Yeah,
about
she
her
killed it.
dance.
Yeah,
She killed it.
I call kind of bullshit on that. They said she came up with all the dance moves.
I heard that too. You
She's,
think no? I know.
she
I've been
said two
watching her. I'm
nights
watching her.
before. So she said 2 nights before she had to come over because she forgot. I don't buy it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure she did something, but it's interesting because so she must have did a lot of studying in 2 days because there's a specific scene from the original 50s or 60s show that
Uh
Wednesday does
huh.
a dance with her
Yeah,
feet,
yeah.
and
The
she
little.
does it in the new
I
show. Yeah,
know. Yeah, it's
and they
cool.
cut it. It's only for the only show for a microsecond, which sucks because it's
Yeah.
really cool. So she knew that and learned that right away. I don't
Oh
know,
yeah.
man.
Just because
Some of
she
it
learned
was.
those moves
Mm.
doesn't mean she didn't make the dance. Though is the point. You know what I mean?
She says she watched videos from golf kids from the 80s dancing. I mean, I
That's
mostly believe she did her own moves, but I don't know. It was
yeah.
kind of
I
too. It
think
was really good. I don't
I for
know.
sure think that I definitely think she obviously ripped that dance from the original Wednesday, but she put that in there, and she just made up the whole choreography. That was her. So I don't know. It was amazing. And now everybody's trying to do that dance. It's really cool. It was
Yeah,
really cool.
she killed it. It was good. It was good.
And
Uh,
somebody pointed out that she does not blink in that whole dance. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they cut away
she
and
doesn't
stuff,
blink through the
but
whole show. Uh, Tim Burton. Tim Burton.
interesting.
I didn't notice until I was watching some behind the scenes, and then she did a take with without blinking, and he's like, "I need you to not blink for the rest of the shoot."
Oh
And then
shit!
for them, they had an inside joke that they were shooting a silent film because she has to be really expressive with her face. So a lot of times it's about her expression of face acting. So they would joke like they were doing
Wow,
a silent film. So
wow.
yeah,
It's a
they
great
got
note.
along.
I mean,
Yeah, they got along
yeah.
really well.
And you know who the writers are? They're my boys.
They're DC guys, aren't they?
They wrote Smallville, dude.
Aren't don't they do a bunch of DC stuff now?
Uh, I don't know. They do a lot of shit, but my favorite. I mean, Smallville is DC.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, no,
I'm
I
just
recognize
saying
the names. Like, I don't follow them.
they were the executive producers of one of my favorite shows of all time, Smallville. So it was really cool to see them come
So
back because
speaking of, well, I know you want to talk about Smallville, but since you brought
no,
this
I was
up,
just gonna say that
go ahead. I'll let you finish.
no, I was just gonna say they haven't, had such a big success like that since Smallville because the other shows they did were Shannara or something, and Into the Badlands, which were good, but they weren't on this level as Wednesday and Smallville. So for me, it's just
Into the
exciting.
Badlands was the kung fu one, right?
Yeah, it was cool, but the
It's all right.
cast, yeah, it was all right. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't like at the level of what Wednesday and Smallville are.
So, do you wanna apologize to TV directors that executive producers are the real directors? You want to tell Tim Burton that he's not the real director of Wednesday, or
What? No,
last
I
week you're
think
like, well, the real directors are the executive producers on TV.
yeah,
You really
but I
shows
mean,
your bias against TV directors
but
last
Tim
week.
Burton is the executive producer. No, Tim Burton is the
The real
executive.
producers are the ones you mentioned. Those are the real producers. They brought in Tim Burton.
Oh, they did. Okay, then
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
but
They brought him in. They were
but
shocked he said yes.
obviously when you bring someone like Tim Burton in, I'm sure he's also got an executive producer credit, which means that he can guide with tone and a lot of choices that executive producers make. So no, I don't
Just,
go
just
back on what I'm saying because if Tim
Just show
Burton,
your bias against TV directors, man.
I'm not biased. All I said was that you never know what you're
Hater.
gonna get. All I said was
Hater.
you don't know if you hire a TV director, you don't know what you're going to get if you're hiring them on a film. It may be great, but you don't always know that because executive producers guide the process intensely.
And did you notice on the? I knew right away when the music started on the Wednesday. Danny Elfman right away.
Yes, yes,
It was
yeah.
actually it was very similar to a Spider-Man score too. You know, like John Williams' Superman score is
Really?
very
Yeah,
similar to like Star Wars or
yeah,
Indian. Yeah, I think it's Star Wars. This one was like it sounded so much like Spider-Man. Like, oh, it's Danny Elfman for sure. And of course, he always worked with too.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
disappointed though. He didn't throw in the original theme somewhere in there though. Come on, you got to put the original theme in there somewhere. It's so good. Come on.
Well, they did the to open the door, you have to snap twice. Did you see
Yeah, that
that?
was the only thing.
I know, that's the only nod, but it was
The
cool.
score was great because Danny Elfman, he's underrated, like right behind John Williams for me. But
I don't know if he's underrated. He does big concerts out here in LA, and people go, and he does concerts of all the stuff he's done. I mean, he did Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's huge out here in LA. People love him as a composer. And also I
I just
heard that he and
noticed.
Tim Burton fell out for a while. I thought,
Oh, really? I don't know.
yeah.
I just noticed, like,
I was actually,
well, I just noticed he doesn't get hired. He doesn't get hired if it's not Tim Burton hire him or Sam Raimi. He's not going to get hired. It looks like why isn't he in more movies? You know, everybody wants
I don't
John Williams.
I don't know if it's about that. I would look into. I have a feeling Danny also
'Cause-
might not want to maybe he only wants to work with
Nah,
certain
he
people.
seems he loves to be in the industry.
He does. Yeah, that's true. But also
Because there
people are
was
going for so much realism now that, I guess that kind of composing hasn't really worked.
nah,
But yeah, you're
like
right.
what
I mean, I guess they don't really,
Hans
huh?
Zimmerman with the so,
Oh my gosh, and they're bringing back Beetlejuice. What do you think about that?
well, that was funny too because that beast looked straight up like Beetlejuice. His face, the
Yeah,
beast's face, it
that's
was
right. I
straight
didn't
up.
even think about that, but you're right. Dang, you're
He's not
right.
working that much.
Who?
I'm right about what his face or Danny Elfman not working.
No, the face. The face of the
Yeah.
monster. I didn't even think about that.
Who says? What are you talking about? Beetlejuice coming back? I haven't heard anything.
You haven't heard?
Just,
Beetlejuice is coming
just
back.
I only hear speculation all the time. Beetlejuice is
No,
gonna
it's
come out
coming
a
back.
movie or
It's
what?
official. Beetlejuice 2. In fact, I think it's already in IMDb.
Doing your IMBT.
Well, I mean, uh, yeah, dude, it's on IMDb. Director Tim Burton.
Yeah,
Danny
this
Elfman's
anything.
back.
No. What is it? IMBD short 2014? What are you looking at? Beetlejuice 2, but then it says
Beetlejuice 2.
1988. Yeah, there's a lot of shit on IMBD
It's
that's
already
not.
been announced though that Winona's
No,
coming
no,
back.
no, no. I don't see nothing. I see this old poster I saw like 10 years ago of him. It says Beetlejuice 2. There's nothing. There's no article.
Beetlejuice, November
There's
15th. Okay, look, this was literally 1 week ago, November 15th, 2022. The story behind the sequel that refuses to die.
yeah, because they had a script forever about him going to Hawaii and shit. It was confirmed to be in the works at Brad Pitt's Plan B production company. Lion hopes to swallow the film. Yeah, I mean, so Brad Pitt has the sequel rights, I guess. That
Okay.
don't really mean that don't mean this shit's been limbo for like
I
forever.
mean, look, everything's always in limbo. I mean, it's not even called limbo, it's called development hell. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need better.
yeah, you need like
Yeah,
casting announcements and
because it's
clips,
been
I'm
like
sure.
it's been like that for years. Trust me. We'll see
Okay.
if it actually does come back. Well, with the show doing so well, it's definitely gonna help it if he really wants to make it. With
Yeah,
Wednesday being the highest rated Netflix show,
you're right. And I
because
think that's why
he's
there's
been
so many articles right now
yeah he's been
about it.
his track record has been kind of weak in his movies track record for a while. So this is a big comeback for him for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you say, he teamed up with your guys from the Smallville, and and he
Yeah.
found Jenny Ortega, and it worked out. They
Yeah.
found the
And
right
what did I say
mix.
also about magic, movie magic?
He had it in
And
this one,
actually,
that's for sure.
I was just listening to a podcast with Jordan Peele on the Armchair with Dax Shepard, and even both of them, with all their success, talked about it is luck. Obviously they both put in the fucking work, but they look back at their lives and like, shit, things could have really gone wrong with just one thing. Even the films that he makes, it's literally like, oh, one element, if it had gone wrong, it doesn't work. And they both feel like their whole journey and where they are and their success right now, it is a lot of luck. So,
I
yeah.
also think like how passionate are you about it? I doubt he was. Sometimes you get a project and is he really passionate about what he's doing? In the behind the scenes, you can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
like he
100%
was
too. Yeah.
they like you said, your guys were shocked that he wanted to do it because he got so excited about it, about whatever their treatment that they wrote, and and then if you look at behind the scenes, the chemistry he had with Jenna Ortega, they're just smiling and having fun, which is cool to see because we were talking about nightmare directors. I don't know
Yeah.
what his reputation is, but
He's got
she
a bad
loves
one.
him. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But she loves him, and you see behind the scenes they're smiling at each other. And they connected. They got each other. We're making a silent film and all this. So he was,
Yeah.
he wasn't a nightmare on this set. So which is really
But
cool.
look,
You can tell he
that's where
liked
the
making it.
but that's where the magic comes in too, like finding that actor that you can work with, that you guys just have this symbiotic relationship and that you get each other, you know what the vision is and the vision is similar, and you know what the director wants and you execute it great. Sometimes that doesn't happen. In fact,
Yeah.
going back to Jordan Peele, he said when he found Daniel Kaluuya, he felt like he was his well, Dak Shepard used the analogy, but he said, is he like your Robert De Niro, um, in regards to Martin Scorsese using Robert De Niro in all his films. And he said, yeah. And he got lucky in finding him because he's, Daniel is so good. And he gave him less lines. Like you said, he didn't use those words exactly, but basically like, what you said about this is a silent film, convey it in your face. And Daniel Kaluuya does that really well. And they talked about that in Get Out.
All right. Let's get to our movie recommendation.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna
know
go with
mine is today.
Christmas. Uh, this is one of my favorite Christmas movies, underrated.
Okay.
Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn. Really funny, hysterical.
Fred
Nobody
Claus.
talks about it. Yeah, nobody talks about it. Fred Claus, really funny. Watch Fred Claus. It's on HBO Max. It's as good as good as what's the Elf? As good as Elf. I swear to God, if not funnier.
Fred
Watch Fred
Claus.
Claus.
Okay. All
Vince
right.
Vaughn. Watch Fred Claus.
Okay.
What you
Who's in
got?
it? Who's in
It's
Fred Claus?
Vince. What's the other name? Let me just pull it up so I can get all the
Vincent
names.
Vaughn. Is
Fred
that what you were about to
Claus.
say?
Vince Vaughn. Paul Giamatti. Unfortunately, Kevin Spacey, but he plays a great villain. Rachel Weisz. When has she done a bad movie? Elizabeth Banks
Never.
and John Michael Higgins and Ludacris. You even got Kathy Bates. It's a great movie. The cast is great. It's really funny.
Wow. I never heard of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Okay. Okay.
underrated. 2007. It's great.
Is it what's the age group or the rating? Is it PG-13,
Oh,
PG,
it's probably 13.
rated R?
It's not R. It's definitely not R, but it's probably 13.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
wondering if, I could watch this with Friday.
You can watch it Friday. It's not rated R. It's definitely 13 though.
Okay. My movie obviously is Harlequin, Birds of Prey. I think it, like you said, it's super underrated. It's now on HBO Max. There's no reason not to see it. It deserves support, and it should have a sequel. I mean, it was really good. Ewan McGregor's such a great villain. The girls in it are so fucking cool. Rosie Perez is awesome. I think the scene where she's like fighting and the like all this glitters popping in the sumo, and when she gets the bat and like ooh and fight. I'm getting so excited. And fighting in the water and the choreography, the fight scenes. Um, it was so good that it's disappointing that it didn't do as well. I even talked to people that worked at the theaters, and they're like, yeah, it was a really good movie, and they were even disappointed that people weren't
Yeah.
showing up for it.
It was probably
It was
the
good.
first DC movie I enjoyed in a while when I went at the time. Now there's been better movies, but I
I
enjoyed
mean, it
it.
had the
I will say that the police scene, even though I enjoyed it, it's really stupid. The police scene because they got guns, bro. She came with a bat, and then none of them shoot her. It's like, come on, man. It's just it.
but I
I enjoy
mean,
this
it's
because it's
Harlequin.
fun, but it's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, how do you? She has a bat, bro. Just shoot her. Like, come on. I think, but people
I think
when you have a flaw like that, people run with it. Like, see how bad of a movie this
yeah.
is. Like, it didn't ruin the movie for me, but
Exactly.
It didn't come. I rolled my eyes, but at the same time, I had fun watching that scene. So I was like,
And let's be
but
real,
overall,
if she was a person of color, she couldn't have done that. I think when you're white, you can get away with like not being shot. And I think they also hint at the
I
fact that,
guess. I mean,
I
if it was a
mean, for
realistic
real,
movie, if it were a realistic movie, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I
it's
mean,
not a
for real,
realistic
like
movie,
also she's
but
like beautiful. Also, they play with the fact that she's beautiful, so she almost has this hypnotic charm about her that, or like also she's arrest like she's so beautiful to look at that it's arresting. Like it puts you, like it stops you in your place. Like, and nobody's gonna expect somebody to come in little booty shorts and
well, then
like have
they all
and then
disappeared too.
why are they gonna shoot somebody for like glitter
She's
bombs?
assaulting them for one thing, but they also
Yeah.
disappear because she goes into the warehouse and then all the cops just disappear and then there's thugs in
Yeah,
there.
for
Like, what
sure.
is
You have to
that?
buy. You have
That
to
doesn't
buy
make
in.
sense.
Yeah, you have to buy in. Yeah, you definitely have to buy into the
It was fun enough.
suspense.
It was fun
Yeah,
enough that I rolled my eyes like it keeps making less and less sense. But you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. But
yeah. I think it. Yeah, I
But
think it's something that you.
for people less generous, I could see why they might not they're gonna go harder
I
on the
don't even
scenes.
think it wasn't that people who saw it didn't like it. I mean, I could be
No,
wrong.
yeah,
I
I
think it
agree.
was
I
more that
agree. They just didn't
I
go
think
see
it
it.
was
Yeah,
more that people didn't see it. Yeah, I think it was
yeah, I
just that
agree.
people
Yeah, I
didn't see
agree.
it. Yeah.
Which is too
So
bad. It's a
that's
fun
one I
movie though.
recommend. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
a fun
great.
movie. Yeah, I would watch it. I'll watch it again. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Oh, and so go back to the movies, go back to the theaters. So you mentioned, not
Yes,
everybody's off. Not everybody's off on Tuesday. You're right. They also got matinee prices. Get up early on your day off.
yes,
Get a matinee
yes,
price. Okay, there you go. Fair enough.
yes,
You're right. Not
yes.
everybody's
Go
off
to
on
the
Tuesday.
movies.
Go to the movies.
Yeah,
Catch a matinee if you have to. All right.
yeah. Go back to the movies.
Go back to the movies, and go back to this
Yes.
podcast every week. The numbers are going down. Okay.
Make sure you like and subscribe
Yeah, like and subscribe. Hit the like button. All
and
right.
comment.
Yeah, your friend. I didn't see Marie or anybody comment. So.
Oh my gosh. I'll let her know.
All right.
All right.